What created ISIS that has killed American citizens? Us going to war in Iraq. What has breeded unprecedented terrorism around the world? Us invading these countries that John McCain has led the charge for. But the media depicts this as heroism. The media depicts this as patriotism. The media depicts this as, being a maverick. Again, I do feel for his family. He has people who loved him, and he has loved ones. But that doesn't excuse the all-out military assault that John McCain didn't just cheerlead, but helped legislatively to get through. There's a reason Raytheon and Boeing put out glowing statements about John McCain. Let me read you more. Afghanistan. Quote, "We should make an immediate statement of our resolve that we no longer intend to tolerate sanctions given to our enemies by any nation. Should the Taliban refuse our demand, then they must know that they will be treated as allies of our enemy, and thus are themselves our enemy and will suffer much for their allegiance." What he wanted, bin Laden's head at any cost. And John McCain, to this dying day, still supported being in Afghanistan. We have been in Afghanistan for nearly 20 years. Why are we still in Afghanistan? Why are we not spending money on health care, public education, investment in inner cities, and for minority education and investment, infrastructure, child nutrition programs, water quality? Why are we spending that money to be in Afghanistan? Al-Qaeda ain't in Afghanistan anymore. Neither is the Taliban. And by the way, the United States under Barack Obama and Donald Trump have worked with Al-Qaeda in places like Syria. I mean, it's madness. It really is madness. Paul Bisco Gaming, 31 minutes later, I get a notice. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is being told in the corporate media. And you know what? If the media wanted to have an honest representation of who John McCain was, if the media wanted to say, here are the good, here were the bad, if the media wanted to say, John McCain was instrumental in us going to wars, in hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people dying all over the world. Paul, thank you for the $2. Help the cause. As a reminder, this is a super chat. If you're feeling super, maybe you spent a little too much money on the weekend, but if you want status quo to persist and exist, help us out. And Kelly Elaine on Facebook says, Arizona, #1 recipient of military bucks. That is true. But what's amazing to me, honestly, where is the value? Where is the human? Where's the mourning for all the people that John McCain advocated to kill? And in the name exactly of what? Nobody, no person today could honestly say that Iraq posed an imminent threat to the United States. Nobody today. I agree that we should have went into Afghanistan until we took out the Taliban, not put out a permanent tent in Afghanistan, not parked out for 20 years. It could be 20 years in 2021. Libya, no imminent threat to us. None of these countries posed an imminent threat. A lot of them pose threat to our oil supply because it's the United States of Oil and it's the United Corporations of America. I mean, real quickly, I'll keep reading. Here are the other countries. Afghanistan he wanted to invade. Libya he wanted to invade. Kosovo. The best course for us, NATO, Kosovo, Russia, and even Serbia, is to begin fighting this war as if it were a war, with huge stakes involved, instead of some strange interlude between peace initiatives. To that end, we should commence today to mobilize infantry and armored divisions for a possible ground war in Kosovo. I mean, that's one of the few good things I could say about Bill Clinton's presidency. We didn't go to war all over the world. Iraq Part 1, Nigeria. On Nigeria, if they knew where they were, I certainly would send in U.S. troops to rescue them. In a New York minute, I would, without permission of the host country. I wouldn't be waiting for some kind of permission from some guy named Good Luck Jonathan. Oh, boy. He wanted action in Bosnia, airstrikes. He wanted actions in North Korea. Quote, I would arm, train, equip both, from without and from within, forces that would eventually overthrow the governments and install free and democratically elected governments. What he wanted, regime change by local opposition, which many times we put the opposition in place who are worse than the people we're taking down, because a lot of those oppositions are, say it with me, terrorists. We keep going. Iran, quote, it's that old Beach Boys song, bomb Iran, bomb, bomb, bomb. Yeah, let's joke about killing more people. Georgia, not the state. Today we are all Georgians. He wanted aggression towards Russia after the invasion of Georgia. Russia, now is the time to fundamentally rethink our relationship with Putin's Russia. We need to deal with the Russia that is, not the Russia we might wish for. We cannot allow today's actions by Putin to stand without serious repercussions. We should push for the completion of all phases of our missile defense programs in Europe and move expeditiously on another round of NATO expansion. What he wanted, a new Cold War. I wish I could say I'm done, but I'm not. Sudan, he wanted. NATO should immediately establish and enforce a no-fly zone over Darfur to ensure that Khartoum ends its offensive military flights and bombarding raids, as the Security Council has already demanded. The United States should intensify efforts to persuade UN members to commit troops and funds for the UN force in Darfur, and it should develop plans for U.S. logistical support. He wanted UN troops. Mali, we need to have DoD assistance as much as feasible and necessary to prevent Mali from deteriorating further into a chaotic situation. China, the Arab Spring is coming to China. Oh, God. Thank God. I was getting tired of reading that. I mean, folks, it's... This was not... You know, maybe at one point, as a prisoner of war, you could say this was an American hero. As a politician, Martha Riddle, $14.99. Thank you once again for calling out mainstream media hypocrisy. I will do it until my last breath, Martha. Thank you for the generous contribution. This is not a hero. He was not a hero as a politician. You want to say he was a hero as a prisoner of war? I agree with you. Anyone, progressive, conservative, it doesn't matter. They deserve our appreciation, even though it was a terrible, stupid, reckless war, Vietnam. John McCain was, there's no other way to put it, a U.S. imperialist, a warmonger, and a hypocrite. He had one track in his brain, and it was for the United States to rule the world, to threaten other countries, and to, exert our might. And I think that is his dying legacy. Chemo says, Jordan, you're aware that you're going up against Joe Rogan in this time slot, right? I was not aware of that, but that's good to know. When Status Quo launches, I'm going to be going live at the same time every day. It's been a little tricky for me to go live at the same time every day for the last few months because I've been doing physical therapy for my back. And this week I'm visiting a friend who's in the hospital as much as I can. But yes, that's good to know. Chemo, tell me what time in the chat. Tell me what time Joe Rogan goes live so I know not to. And then tell Joe Rogan to have me on his show. Would love to go on his show and detail a bombshell story that the mainstream media has been suppressing about the Flint water crisis that I have. So, thank you. The audience informs me all the time. All the time. And share this video on Facebook, share it on Periscope, share it on YouTube. Oh, Joe just finished. How's the back feel? Little tight. The problem is less the back. The problem is my foot. Because the disc was pressing on my nerve for God knows how long. And a piece of that disc broke off and was lodged in my spinal column. So before the surgery, my whole foot was numb. Now, basically, it's the left side of my foot that's numb. So I've gotten most feeling in my foot, but not all. So still going to physical therapy, all that. Last thing I'll say about John McCain is this. It doesn't make you a hero to pound your chest for 80 years inventing a fantasy United States. It doesn't make you a hero to preemptively threaten or invade other countries more vulnerable than ours. The United States was founded, besides being genocidal towards the Native Americans, besides based on slavery. The United States, the philosophy, the DNA of the United States was trying to flee our Great Britain, our British oppressors. It doesn't make John McCain or his ilk heroes to basically become worse than the British ever were to the colonists. That's what John McCain believed in. He believed in not U.S. might, U.S. imperialism. And it's dangerous to celebrate that. You could celebrate him as a war hero for being a prisoner of war. I totally agree with that. But to take it to the level it's at now, with all this nonsense about a maverick and a hero, and somehow was, totally a beacon of freedom. McCain didn't care about the freedom of Iraqis or Afghans or name your country. He was instrumental in us invading. So I'm not mourning John McCain. I think it's a true commentary of what our corporate media is. At the end of the day, our corporate media is about access. It's not about reporting the truth. It's not about accurately telling you or holding power accountable. It's about keeping close to power so they have access. Because the corporate media believes that if they have access, that will equal ratings, that will equal breaking news, and all those things. I think what independent media is showing, true seekers of truth don't give a damn about our access. They give a damn about truth and facts. And you don't get truth and facts, if you're the mainstream media, by kissing figures like John McCain's ass when he's alive or in death. That's not truth. That's propaganda. He never saw a tax cut he didn't like. He never saw bombs he didn't want to drop on Asians, on brown people. He always saw the death of innocent civilians all around the world as the price of war. The only problem is, it's not a war when you're constantly at war. That's a complex. John McCain didn't believe in war. He believed in occupation. He believed in imperialism. He believed in the United States as the world's police. It's a dangerous, dangerous political ideology that has led to not only the murder of millions of people, but all the people that were left behind those people. Think about the families who's in some ways have died themselves, losing their family members for no real reason. So that's what I think about the death of John McCain. And I'm not going to sit here and, pretend he was some upstanding American hero. He wasn't.